Well, good day to you. Welcome into Strategies for Living here on healthylife.net. I'm Dr. David McMillan, and I'm joined by my colleague, my co-host, and my wife.
You had some hesitation there.
Yeah, Lauren, psychotherapist Lauren Leon McMillan. And, you know, I have a special treat for you today.
Yeah?
Yeah. You were raised up. You were actually raised up on the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Your family.
Yes,
every
absolutely.
year. You guys, and since I've become a member of the family for the last 5
Welcome
years,
to the club.
yeah, each year we watch It's a Wonderful Life. And, well,
Tradition.
so we have got a couple of very special life strategists today because they have written a couple of books. The first book that they wrote is called It's a Wonderful Time. And it's part of the Hollywood Time Travel series. Going to be 3 of these books. And the second one is just out. It's called The Inventors.
Yeah.
And I think this is the 78th anniversary
That's right.
of It's a Wonderful Life. So no better time
Yeah.
than to welcome the authors of the Hollywood Time Travel series.
I'd say it's a wonderful time to invite them.
I would say that too. Reinhard Denke is a Texas native, a graduate of the USC Film School, whose script Sex, Greed, Money, Murder, and Chicken Fried Steak, you gotta love it, was optioned by Johnny Depp's Infinitum, Neil's production company, and chosen for the prestigious 2009 Hollywood Blacklist. And it's now in pre-production. It's got a 2025 release date. And Denke has worked as a script doctor since 2010 and has worked on Captive and Montford, Chickasaw Rancher, Gone, Undaunted, Radiant, Resolute. And we welcome him. He's one of the co-authors of the Hollywood Time Travel series. Reinhard, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be with you.
And let's bring in your co-host, co-author, Doug Stebleton. He is an entertainment business veteran working in Hollywood since 1987. His company owns a catalog of songs that are licensed to film and television studios and to independent productions. Its credits include Blood Diamond, Borat, Little Miss Sunshine, The Sopranos, CSI, ER, The Big Bang Theory, and Blue Bloods. He's also produced several films, including Big Life, a feature film that's going to be released soon. Doug, welcome back to Strategies.
Welcome, Doug.
Hey, it is good to be back, David. Thank you.
So we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about today. We're a little past the Christmas season now, just passed, and but not too late to watch if you
No.
haven't watched.
I think it's the perfect time.
yeah.
Still time between Christmas and New Year's.
That's
when
true.
You don't really have much to do. Well, here's something to do.
Here's something to do. So we're going to dive in, and we're going to talk about It's a Wonderful Life. We're going to talk about It's a Wonderful Time. We're going to talk about the inventors. Lauren, we're even going to talk about Hedy Lamarr.
Oh.
Do you know who Hedy Lamarr is?
I do now.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. And so will you, folks. We're going to have a good time today with Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Denke, authors of the Hollywood Time Travel series. We're going to find out all about that and much more. And it's all right here on Strategies for Living. Stay where you are. Stay with us. We got a lot to learn. Be right back. And welcome in. Welcome into Strategies for Living Radio here on healthylife.net. I'm David McMillan. She is psychotherapist Lauren Leon McMillan, and we are welcoming the authors of the Hollywood time travel series, Reinhard, Denke, and Doug Stebleton. And guys, how did all of this get started? Reinhard, was this your idea? Doug, was this your idea, or was it a collective deal?
Well, it started off with a script that I had written back in 2005 called Wonderful Time that dealt with the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And it was a time travel movie. And was going to try to make it into a movie, never made it into a movie, so I decided to make it into a novel. Through a mutual friend, a guy named Michael Cummings, I was introduced to Reinhard maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Read a couple of the scripts and was blown away what a great writer he was. And so when I was writing the book, which I'd never written a book, and Reinhard had written many scripts, and he'd read my original script, I asked him to come on as a partner and a co-author, and he jumped on board, and that's how we finished the first book, It's a Wonderful Time. And then the second book, which I'll let Reinhard do a little more talking, because that book is based off of Hedy Lamarr and her story, which was one of the scripts that Reinhard had written, and we decided to, apart from all the other movies that we could have did about her movie stars, we decided to pick her story, and that's kind of how we got into that. But that's how we met, through a mutual friend. We hit it off, and we wrote the first book, which was very successful, very well received, and that's my recollection of how it all happened.
You know, it's a Wonderful Life is an interesting movie, because if I'm remembering my Wonderful Life trivia, it was not exactly a blockbuster
Right.
at the box office when it came out. Am I remembering that correctly?
Okay, yeah. When it came out in December in 46, and unfortunately there was a major snowstorm on the East Coast, and so a lot of people just stayed home and didn't go to the movies at all. And that first week end is very important for a movie to see how it's going to do. And so it didn't make a lot of money at all at the box office that first week and the days to come. And so after maybe a month or two, they shelved it, and it was just shelved for many years at RKO. And then in 74, it got you might want to talk about that later, but it went into the public domain.
Right.
But then something happened in 1974. But yeah, it was not a big blockbuster. It got really good reviews overall, and it was actually nominated, I think, for 5 Academy Awards, one being Best Picture.
Wow.
But it didn't win one. So, but we know the history. It took time for us to find its legs and its audience, and now it's everybody's favorite movie. So that's kind of the story how that happened.
Yeah.
Well, and you have to remember this, that Jimmy Stewart had gotten back from World War II.
Right.
And this was, I believe, his first movie. And it took his career in a different direction, because before then he always played comic, the comic sidekick, or
Right.
well, with the exception of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Right.
He didn't play this kind of role, and after this, he became a much different actor, an actor with far more range than he had shown before, even in Mr. Smith. And oddly, Frank Capra, I mean, he did a few movies after this, and he had come back from World War II as well. But the later films he did, like Hole in the Head, and the one with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, I can't remember the name.
State of the Union.
State of the Union. They didn't really match up to the films he made before the war.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what was it that took place in 1974 that so changed the trajectory of It's a Wonderful Life?
Well, it was a clerical error. They didn't renew the copyright of the movie. Now, this is not this happens quite often, not believe it or not. I've been doing some research, and there's a lot of movies that are in the public domain. Some have just fell into the domain because of the time span, but some could have been not in the public domain, but they didn't pay attention to their paperwork and never got renewed.
Yeah.
In this case, that was what happened at RKO. And when that happened in 1974, it became public domain, and all the TV stations across America started playing it for free. And that's how when you would watch TV during 74 and 75 and the years that followed, it usually played around Christmas time on just almost every channel, and that's how a new audience came to know and love it. And then I think it's 94, about 20 years later, NBC got involved, and I think they reissued the copyright or something, but it still plays on NBC every year, but just maybe at Thanksgiving and Christmas. But now it's out on all the streaming. It's on Netflix. You can watch it all over DVDs. But yeah, it's one of the top films in the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think it was not hurt at all in the 1980s with the proliferation of all the cable, the giant cable services and networks. Everybody looking for inexpensive programming, right? And so there it was in the public domain. So you just play the bejesus, I guess, out of movies like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, go ahead, finish up. I'm sorry.
It finds an audience that otherwise it would not have found.
Well, I was going to say is the first time I had found it I was in Billings, Montana, coming home for Christmas, and I found it in a bargain bin as a VHS tape. And when some films go into public domain, some of these video places they pump them out because they don't have to pay any license fees.
Right.
And a lot of people get to see it that way. And that's how I bought my first VHS of that film, was in a bargain bin for $3.99 or something.
Wow.
I did not know about it growing up. And when I was I went to USC Film School for a master's degree, so I was there for graduate school, but I went to UT undergrad. And I remember, the UT, in my dorm, there was a theater. UT had theaters everywhere. They were amazing. Showed a lot of really good movies.
Yeah.
On 35 and 16 millimeter prints. And all my people in the hall of my dorm, they said, "We got to go see It's a Wonderful Life. We have to see it." And I didn't know what it was. And I remember it was the last day before you go home for Christmas break. All the finals are over. And I went down and watched that thing on the screen. And I thought it was one of the most remarkable events of my life.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll see a movie and it makes such a huge imprint. You never forget it. You never forget that time and place. And that's when film transcends and becomes what it should be. Yeah. Which is a memorable experience, an indelible experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sort of time travel in and of itself, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it preserves a certain time and place.
Yeah.
It on the back of the on the back of the book, and I love it. I agree with this 100%. The back of the book, It's a Wonderful Time, which is the first of the Hollywood time travel series. It says, it proclaims Back to the Future meets Midnight in Paris on the set of It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah. And so, without giving away too much, kind of tease us a little bit, guys. How would you describe to someone who is listening to us right now that maybe loves the movie It's a Wonderful Life and is now intrigued by what they're hearing us talk about? What would you tell them about It's a Wonderful Time without giving away too much of the story?
Well, I'll start, Reinhard, then you can finish up. But I was going to maybe say, Reinhard and I both have been in the movie industry for over 30 years, 35 years probably. And so we both spent a lot of time on movie studios, on the backlots, Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers for years. So we've kind of seen, how the movies are made, and we both love that history. So when we wrote that book and book 2, we're not coming from, we've done so much research, not just research, but we lived it. And we really put what we've known in the books about those the movies and also the actors. And so when you read some of the reviews, people were saying, wow, I felt like I was in 1946 in book one. It's in 1946. They talked about the smells of Hollywood and the gas, the exhaust from the cars and how good the Coca-Cola tastes because there was real sugar in it.
Yeah.
And so I think we really did a good job of kind of captivating what that was like, and that's a lot with Reinhard because he's so knowledgeable about that stuff. So that's kind of my point of view. We have a lot of history in Hollywood, and it's come out through the writing. Why don't you take it the rest of that, Reinhard?
Yeah, I think all of us are, to a point, all of us are intrigued about how movies are made, and especially intrigued when there's personalities like Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed.
Yeah.
You feel like you know these people.
Yeah.
And certainly we've all run into a Lionel Barrymore before, Mr. Potter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all have a Mr. Potter in our lives. And
Yeah.
the idea of being in 1946 with those people, watching them make this masterpiece, which I don't know if they knew it was a masterpiece or not. I've heard stories from Casablanca where everybody was frustrated. Bogart and the Claude Rains, the director, nobody knew what was going on because they were getting pages in the morning of what they were going to shoot. I don't know that certainly wasn't the case on It's a Wonderful Life, but I think the idea of being transported back into time and seeing this magical moment being captured forever, because this is forever. Movies are forever. Certainly has an intrigue to it.
Yeah.
And we tried to add as much humor and try to bring out Jimmy Stewart's personality as well as Donna Reed and Frank Capra, certainly.
Right.
And make these people relatable as if you would be if you were talking with them at the dinner table.
Yeah.
So what does the book kind of revolve around? The I'll hold up the book here on the radio. The
Amazing
the book cover, which is wonderful, and it immediately when I look at the book cover, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing, I'm going to go back in time here. Is that what happens in It's a Wonderful Time? Do we go back in time?
Well, the first book takes place in December 2024, and they go back to 1946 to correct a problem. And a lot of time travel stories like Back to the Future, Marty McFly goes back to fix his broken parents.
Right.
Because his dad is easily bullied by this terrible guy, and his mom is they have not reached their potential as people. And so what Marty does is he goes back to, I believe, 1955, and he's able to fix his parents. And, there's a lot of time travel stories. They say you should never go back there because if you just pick up a leaf off the ground, you're going to
change things.
Ripples,
right, the butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's going to screw everything up, right? In Stephen King's November 22nd, 1963, the lead goes back to stop Oswald from shooting President Kennedy. And by doing so, he screws everything up. Everything gets messed up. And in our case, we're trying to correct a wrong. And I shouldn't go into it too much, but it turns out there's some footage from It's a Wonderful Life that has been kept, has been hidden away, and an unscrupulous man in 2021 wants to put it back in. And that footage would ruin the film. It would make it a dark noir.
All right. Well, that's all you got to tell us right there.
Okay.
That's all you got to tell us. We're talking to the authors of the Hollywood time travel series. It's a Wonderful Time, and their brand new book, The Inventors. We're going to come back and talk about this new book, The Inventors, in just a moment here on Strategies for Living with Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Senka today here on Strategies for Living. Be right back. And welcome back into your dose of radio rehab here on healthylife.net. And we call our little program Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. And, folks can get a daily dose of radio rehab because in our market, in our local market in Shreveport, Louisiana, where we originate, we do a daily radio program, and people can listen to it wherever they'd like.
On Facebook with Strategies for Living with David McMillan.
Yep.
Or YouTube.
There
which
you
is
go.
just Strategies for Living.
And so and of course, you can always get your weekly dose of
Right.
Radio Rehab here on Thursdays, right here on healthylife.net. And I hope you will, but please feel free to
If you
join
can't
us
get enough, there's
any day.
more.
Yeah, there you go. Our life strategists today are Don Smith and Doug Stebleton. Wait a minute. Okay, so let me explain something here. Reinhard, Denke,
Yes.
and before we were going on the air, I was coming up with how do I remember
How to pronounce
Denke.
Denke.
And
Yes.
I was telling Reinhard that my grandmother always had Sanka coffee. And what do?
You-
Coming out of last break, I call him Reinhard Sanka. Yeah. Apologies, Reinhard.
Oh gosh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's the least thing. It's fine.
I guess, to just get this on the same footing, I need to screw up Doug's name. I don't know how I'll do that, but I'll figure out how to do that before the end of the
you'll
program.
figure it out.
I'll figure it out. Yeah. All right, so we're with Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Denke today. They are the authors of the Hollywood Time Travel series. The first book is It's a Wonderful Time, and the new book that's just come out is called The Inventors. And when did the book come out, Doug? When was the actual publication date?
For the book 2, The Inventors, it just came out this year in August. I can't remember the exact date, but in the middle of August, something like that. And if you want, I can let Reinhard do most of the talking on this because this is really his wheelhouse because he knows the Hedy Lamarr story so well. But the way that we came with the idea to do book 2 with the Hedy story is after we finished book 1, we talked about putting some movies and different ideas for what book 2 would be about. And as I told you earlier, when I met Reinhard, he had sent me 2 scripts of his, and one was called Radiant, and another one was a kind of a true story of a mobster kind of thing. Well, Reinhard can explain it, but they were both amazing scripts. And so when we got together for coffee to figure out what the next book was going to be about, I had written, a lot of different famous movies through the different decades and a few different movie stars. I had the list, and as I was going down the list, I had Hedy Lamarr's story, and I remember saying to Reinhard, I said I also had Hedy Lamarr. I said, but you wouldn't want to do that because you just probably want to do that. He goes, no, I'd love to do that. I said, really? And so he was excited about it. I said, well, man, I'd love to do that. So it was decided very quickly, and we just decided that's what it was going to be, and it turned out great because, like I said, the first movie was based off a script I wrote. This book was based off a script Reinhard wrote, and the third book will not be based off a script at all because we're starting from scratch. It's
Wonderful.
It's something that we never. But Reinhard knows this story well, so that's kind of how the decision came to do that. But Reinhard can give the background of why he knows so much about Hedy's story.
Yeah.
So we've got our protagonist. We've got Evan West, and we've got Dr. William Cooper, and they find themselves transported to this very pivotal moment in history, which are the dark months just before the United States gets drawn into World War II. Reinhard, what is their mission? What is their mission here?
Well, at first the mission is just to get back home.
Yeah.
Because Dr. Cooper realizes that the measurements and the calculations he did to push them into 2021, it ends up that they went back in time rather than forward in time.
Right.
So they went back 5 years. And because he's just learning how to use this technology that's so beyond anything that. Because remember, I hope I don't complicate things too much. Cooper is from the 1890s.
Right.
He was working with Nikola Tesla, and he was pushed in the 40s, and then he and Evan met there, and they became lifelong friends because they're both time travelers and strangers in a strange land.
Right.
And so when Cooper makes this mistake there in 1941, and just through a chain of events, they meet Hedy Lamarr. And because Evan knows his history, he knows what Hedy Lamarr did. And what Hedy did with a partner who was you can look him up. He's a composer. At one time, he was listed as one of the United States most primary composers with what's his name? Aaron Copland.
Right.
Yeah.
And Leonard Bernstein.
Right.
And they also mentioned George Antheil. And Antheil was more of he was a jack of all trades, and he was a genius. He did all kinds of things other than music composition. But he and Hedy got to know each other because George Antheil was doing music for movies. And he met Hedy, and they had a shared interest in science. And they came up with a device that they called the secret communication system. And it was before the United States got in the war, and Hedy was Jewish, so she was a refugee from Europe. She had been in Austria, and she saw what was coming, and Louis B. Mayer got her out, along with a lot of other people.
Right.
And she saw that all those ships being sunk by the U-boats, who reigned supreme in the Atlantic in 1941, and then later in 1942. And she was trying to come up with a device that was essentially a guided torpedo.
All right, now let me stop you real quick here. I got to get a break
in that torpedo.
Got to torpedo the torpedo, and we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll start right there when we come back here on Strategies for a Living. We are with Reinhard, Denke, and Doug Stebleton today here on Strategies. Stay with us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on healthylife.net. Lauren, Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and our life strategists. They are the authors of the Hollywood time travel series, and they are Reinhard, Denke, and Doug Stebleton. The first book is It's a Wonderful Time. If you love the movie It's a Wonderful Life, you're going to love It's a Wonderful Time. The new book, The Inventors. And I'm sorry that we had to interrupt you, Reinhard, in the storytelling. Let's see where we were. They had gotten several actors, including Hedy, out of danger, and they were coming up with an invention, right?
Yes.
This is real life stuff.
Yes, she and George Antheil came up with an invention called the secret communication system, which was about guiding torpedoes through radio waves. So a torpedo could be launched by a submarine, and we have those now,
right?
But we certainly didn't in 1941,
right?
And she got it as far as the Naval Ordnance Board, and they assessed the technology, and they said, we need torpedoes that work, let alone do this.
Right.
But they recognized how advanced it was, and they took the patent. The Navy said this is national security, and so they wanted the patent off the market. So Hedy and George got the patent. You can look it up in the U.S. Patent Office. And the Navy kept that technology until 1959. They employed it. It worked. They were using it for scrambled communications. And then it ended up going out to Bell or to AT&T in the late 60s. And it is the basis now for cellular communication, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, all of that.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. And it kind of
one of the most amazing stories.
Yeah, and it kind of underscores the absolutely profound impact of visionary ideas that really transcend time itself. Talk about time travel, right?
Oh yeah.
And I can add a couple things too regarding the book too, Inventors. When Reinhard and I were decided to go back to 1941 and to be put our two guys in history. Some of the interesting characters that were really part of Hedy's life were Howard Hughes and also Louis B. Mayer, because she was signed to MGM at the time.
He was her boss.
Who was her boss? Yeah. So we incorporated Howard Hughes. He has a great role in the book. And also the FBI and the German Abwehr. lot of, this is a darker, in the first book, it was a little more kind of light. It was more lighter. Everything kind of went good in Evan's way, very optimistic. Book 2, darker, gloomier, right before war. They don't like 1941 at all. And then getting to the title, when Reinhard and I were coming up, we came up with the list, and then one of them was the inventor, and we said, I think that's it. And then Reinhard said, you know what? Well, how about the inventors? Because George and Hedy were inventors, as was Howard, as was Coop, one of our characters. So that's how the title came, the Inventors.
I love it.
Yeah, Howard Hughes is, he's sort of the Elon Musk of his day.
Yeah.
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 And he was, as a kid growing up in Texas, I always idolized Howard Hughes. Not the crazy Howard Hughes in the Desert Inn with long hair and fingernails and watching Ice Station Zebra.
Not Howard Hughes at the end, but Howard Hughes Howard Hughes in his prime.
Yeah, flying around the world, producing movies. We had that enormous tool company, Hughes Tool and Die.
Yeah.
Inventing airplanes.
The Spruce Goose.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And he dated Hedy Lamarr in real life, and they found they were soulmates in many ways. And she worked with him on a lot of the wing structure design because he was just astonished with her mind.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also might want to mention, for people that do want to learn more about Hedy Lamarr, apart from reading our book, there's a great documentary on Netflix called Bombshell.
Oh yeah.
It's all about her life, and it's very, very good. And they go into everything pretty deep. So yeah, Bombshell on Netflix is a winner.
Yeah.
I think that came out in 2018 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, let me mention here that people can go to the website HollywoodTimeTravel.com and kind of learn more about the Inventors and the Hollywood time travel series, which includes both books that we're talking about today, and kind of keep up on the third book that is going to be joining the series. It's going to be a series. It's a trilogy, guys. Three books.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, just 3.
Yeah,
that's enough. It'll be
If Star Wars had just stuck with 3, we'd be fine.
Yeah, got a good
Sometimes
point there.
3 is enough.
Yeah. How long does the insight, the research take? Because this is historical fiction. That you got. How long does that take to really produce one of these books?
Yeah, it took a while on this one because Hedy Lamarr, the project I was assigned was in 2017 to write a movie script about her. So I did a pretty deep dive from January until really late summer, early fall before I finally had a script. And it actually almost got made. And it's a shame it didn't. It's the oldest story in the book with indie films. They had a cast. They had Simon Pegg as George Antheil. Olga Kurylenko was going to be Hedy. I think that British actor Matthew Green, the one that played Robert Evans in The Offer, he was Howard Hughes.
Wow.
And Stanley Tucci was Louis B. Mayer. And
oh man!
Because for whatever reason, 3 weeks out from shooting, it fell apart. And I've always thought that this would be just the best idea. Because most people they know the name Hedy Lamarr. And, Harvey Korman's character, Blazing Saddles, was Hedy Lamarr.
yeah, I love it.
But then when Doug and I said, let's do this. So to get into 1941, I had read a book that always stuck with me called Those Angry Days by Lynn Olson. And what a dark time in America it was.
Let me
talk about the country.
Let me get another break here, and we'll come back and start right there. Got Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Denke with us today here on Strategies for Living. They are the authors of the Hollywood Time Travel series. It's a Wonderful Time, and now the Inventors. HollywoodTimeTravel.com. We'll be right back here on Strategies. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on HealthyLife.net. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan with Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Denke. the authors of the Hollywood Time Travel Trilogy series. It's a Wonderful Time is the first book. The Inventors is book number 2. Reinhard, do you recommend that people read one before the other? You know, or do they stand independently, or do we really need to read It's a Wonderful Time and then The Inventors?
Oh, I think It's a Wonderful Time should be read first because we're introduced to the characters, to the main characters, Evan and Dr. Cooper. You know, we come in the next one, and it's almost like, you know, if you don't know who they are, you're going to be a little confused, and there's a lot of references to events that happen in the first book.
Right.
So they don't stand alone.
Right. And you know, and I think you're going to want to meet these characters too. you're going to want to get to know them, and when you get to know Evan and Coop, you know, you'll know why. You probably want to read them in sequence, if you will. Yeah.
I would suggest that, definitely. Yeah.
And so again, folks, you can go to HollywoodTimeTravel.com and learn more about
and get the first
series.
3 chapters for free.
Yeah, there you go. What a deal!
Yeah, I'll mention one thing since you just said that about the free 3 chapters.
Yeah,
is right now, just like about a week ago, I made it the ebook for book 1 available for free. So I got thousands of people that downloaded it. I could only do that for a few days, but now it's back for a price, but it's only 99 cents for an ebook.
Wow!
So it's the lowest price I've done. So if anybody wants to take advantage of that 99 cents book 1, just go on Amazon and download that. And then for book 2, for the ebook, I think the ebook price is $2.99, very low.
Can't beat
so we
that.
brought the prices down. Yeah, and during the whole month of December, those prices will stay. And then if people do want to buy a tangible book that they hold, I even brought the prices down from them from like $17 down to like $14.99, I think. So
wonderful.
They can get all that on Amazon.
All right.
Now, break. Reinhard was talking. I'd like to know about this. He was talking about the book, the 1941 book about Lynn.
Yeah.
Maybe you could finish that story, Reinhard.
The book "Those Angry Days" by Lynn Olson.
Yeah.
It's a picture of 1941 and how divided we were then. And most people they always say, oh, we're more divided now than the Civil War. That's nonsense. 1941, half the country wanted to go to war, the other half didn't. And fist fights would break out in restaurants. And it wasn't a party line thing. It wasn't like now.
Yeah.
There were people who did not want to have anything to do with World War II.
Right.
And of course, the year ended on the worst way it could with the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And at that point, we had no choice.
Right.
But it was a very dark time. It was a very unhappy time in American history.
Yeah.
And there were some people like Charles Lindbergh and Joseph Kennedy who were in the anti-war crowd who ended up looking, I think in the end being disgraced.
Yeah.
That they took the side of the Germans.
Yeah. You know, and historical fiction, I've always loved history.
Right.
And so as a consequence, I love a great story.
Mm-hmm.
And to take it, to me, historical fiction is the best of both worlds. You know, you take the foundation of history, and then you weave a story around it. A story that okay, well, this could be true.
Right.
Yeah. And so I love I love the fact that you guys are doing historical fiction.
Well, it elegantly weaves several genres, right? The time travel element plus the historical fiction plus a little science fiction. I mean, it really can meet anyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil anything about what's in what's in here. But again, obviously, there's time travel, and obviously, we have had works of science fiction that when they were published, they were, okay, well, that'll never happen. We'll never go to the moon.
Well,
we'll never go to the to the bottom of the sea, and yet,
Right.
do you ever see us time traveling in real life, Doug and Reinhard?
I don't know. I would have said in the 1970s when I was a little kid that you'll never have a cellular-based telephone. It just seemed too far-fetched.
Yeah.
Or the idea you could plug in a computer and talk to people across the world.
Yeah.
Or even me talking with you. I'm in Los Angeles, California. You're in Baton Rouge. The idea that we're not on some crackly long-distance line.
Right.
Right.
It would have astonished me. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's so many weird things going on in the world right now. I mean, think about it this way. From 1945 until now, we go from crank telephones and piston-powered airplanes and cars. I mean, car technology was pretty primitive back then too.
Sure.
To now, what we have.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine the technological leaps and bounds.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. And folks, if you will get a copy of both of these books, I think you will find the book's mind-boggling too. It's part of the Hollywood time travel series. It's a Wonderful Time is book number 1. The Inventors is book number 2.
And looking forward to book number 3.
And we are definitely looking forward to book number 3. You can find out more about Doug and Reinhardt's great work at HollywoodTimeTravel.com, and I hope you will. We will be back here in a moment on Strategies for Living on HealthyLife.net to wrap up our conversation with Doug Stebleton and Reinhard Denke. See, I did it.
You did it.
I got it in.
You made it.
I got it in. I made it. Here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back. Well, I tell you what, this has been fantastic. Doug Stebleton, Reinhard Denke, thank you. Thank you so much for being great life strategists and for writing these wonderful books and being here with us here on Strategies for Living. Thank you.
Thanks, David. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, David. This has been wonderful.
You bet. Folks, check it out. Check out the Hollywood Time Travel series. It's a Wonderful Time and The Inventors. And check it out at HollywoodTimeTravel.com. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? What would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call for Doug Stebleton and for Reinhard Denke and for Lauren Leon McMillan. I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.